This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com with my weekly review of the points I find interesting in Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer newsletter. I did go out for St. Patrick's Day yesterday and enjoyed a few beers. Hope everyone had a good St. Patrick's Day. Went out with one of my friends from work. And yeah, I've been having a lot of success going out lately. As some of you may have seen, some of my new friends that I've made through various videos. But let me jump right into the news. The big news, of course, and the sad news of this past week was Scott Hall passing away on the 14th of March at 63 years old. He had suffered a broken hip and underwent surgery in Marietta, Georgia, and got a blood clot during the surgery, which caused him to suffer 3 heart attacks and be put on life support. By the morning of March 13th, they basically had agreed through the family that he was going to be taken off life support once all the family had said their goodbyes. He was taken off life support at noon on the 14th and passed away in the early evening. Apparently, according to his friends, which include Sean Waltman, they kind of knew this was coming because I guess he hadn't been doing well in recent years and had gotten back into drinking. The news of him passing apparently was the most searched item in the entire Google News once he passed, with over 2 million searches, which, according to Meltzer, was more than Randy Savage, Roddy Piper, Dusty Rhodes, and The Ultimate Warrior. So Scott Hall was definitely a known personality. Sean Waltman told Dave Meltzer, quote, "The pandemic did him in. It was hard enough for him as it was, but he was isolated in his home with no social interaction. He was down to 200 pounds. We called Dallas Page. He went over. It was really bad," end quote. Meltzer also points out he was in bad shape last year before WrestleMania's NWO Hall of Fame induction. Apparently he had passed out at the bar, but they no-sold it. And obviously he had horrible drinking issues through the years that at times, with the help of Dallas Page, were fixed. But alcohol issues, I mean, it's a serious thing, and like you got to stay on it. And I understand, like, COVID put everybody in a depression, especially the lockdowns. I mean, when they put us back on lockdown here in Ontario in January, it was one of the most depressing months of my life because I was basically stuck here on my own. I had been through 2 breakups, and I actually had COVID. So my parents didn't want to see me because they're older. So I was literally by myself for a month. All I had was you guys. So that's why I love you guys. You fans are always there for me. WWE filed a motion on March 15th to dismiss the lawsuit, the antitrust lawsuit MLW had against them. It basically came down to whether MLW had adequate proof that they attempted to block MLW TV and tamper with talent contracts. Who has WWE really signed from MLW? I can't think of anyone. All I can tell you is that I kick MLW's ass every month on YouTube in viewership. Like, I get incomparably more views than them. I got a few friends in that company, but from a lot of people I've talked to, it's a really shitty company. The people that run it are apparently assholes. So I'm on WWE's side in that one. I don't think it's WWE's fault that nobody gives a shit about MLW. Big E had a broken neck on SmackDown from Birmingham last Friday. He was teaming with Kofi Kingston. Aren't the New Day, weren't they supposed to be broken up? Did I miss something? Versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland. Holland gave him an overhead suplex on the floor, and Big E came down right on the top of his head, fractured his C1 and C6 vertebrae, but no spinal damage. Didn't require surgery, and he will be back in the ring. He's at home recovering now. Logan Paul, one of the top YouTubers in the world, told Talk Sports that he doesn't expect his WrestleMania appearance to be his last WWE appearance. I'm sure they're paying him very well. Of course not. I have a lot of respect for both Logan and Jake Paul and what they've accomplished in YouTube. I'm continuously growing, and I appreciate all the support, but I'm expanding into other things other than wrestling lately as well, some of which I got to be a bit more careful with. Right now, WWE is looking at doing a Labor Day stadium show, Labor Day weekend in Cardiff, Wales, that would hold up to 69,000 fans. They haven't had a major pay-per-view in the UK since SummerSlam '92. Regarding the Madison Square Garden house show that happened recently, WWE and everyone involved is saying Brock Lesnar got split open intentionally by the steps because of WWE's blading ban, and they wanted blood. And apparently his main event match versus Austin Theory was the fourth shortest main event in Madison Square Garden history. Diesel beating Bob Backlund in '94 was the shortest, followed by Backlund beating George Steele in '83, and then the 1963 Bruno Sammartino beating Buddy Rogers was the third shortest. Titus O'Neil has been out since late 2020, recovering from knee issues. Dynamite did a 0.38 rating this week from San Antonio and had 6,500 paid in attendance. NXT did a 0.14 rating. Raw did a 0.48 rating from Jacksonville with 5,000 paid. Rampage did a 0.22 rating. They never seem to have the attendance numbers for Rampage. SmackDown did a 0.57 rating from Birmingham with 8,000 paid. New Japan on Access TV did a 0.01 rating. No one really cares about New Japan. That's about as low as you can get. Impact did a 0.03 rating. AEW's May 29th show at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas is the largest gate for any North American promotion other than WWE in history. They have sold 12,939 tickets for a $1,145,000 gate. The show the couple days after in Ontario, California is also almost sold out with 7,240 tickets out. Kenny Omega is out right now recovering from arthroscopic knee surgery. He'll be out for about 10 weeks, but he's also going to have some other surgeries, including a hernia issue, so he'll be out for a while. Joey Janela is not going to re-sign with AEW. He's only done one match this year in AEW, and it's pretty much just been on the streaming shows, not the main shows, which I don't blame them for doing that because he sucks, in my opinion. There was a story on Fightful saying the reason why AEW doesn't want Mark and Jay Briscoe part of the promotion is because Warner Media doesn't like that in the past Jay made an anti-gay slur, I guess. They're holding that against him. Yeah, and that was made in 2011 and 2013. So, yeah. You can be held against. You can have stuff held against you for years. And for the record, I was hanging out with some lesbians the other night, and I support them 100%. Bobby Fulton, who I've done some interviews with, put on a show in Ohio on March 12th that drew a turnaway crowd. They had over 3,000 fans at a high school, with allegedly 500 turned away. I don't know what the budget for this show was, but they brought in Kevin Nash, the Steiners, Ron Simmons, Tommy Rich, Mr. Hughes, Kurt Angle, Ricky Steamboat, Tully Blanchard, Barry Windham, J.J. Dillon, Road Dogg, Enzo, Sam Houston, Billy Gunn, Austin and Colton Gunn, Greg Valentine, Jimmy Yang, Mr. Huge, Buff Bagwell, Kevin Sullivan, Shane Douglas, and Rip Rogers, among others. So that has to have been a massive budget for the show, unless they went to do favors for Bobby Fulton, because he is a legend in the business. But that has to be at least, the payroll is like tens of thousands of dollars. So I don't know how much they were charging for tickets. But I remember my biggest event back in 2007, we had 4,000 fans for Great North Wrestling. And we had like a $74,000 gate, but we were taxed on that gate. And like the budget for the show, like it was over like $63,000. So everyone thought I made a fortune on that show, and it made actually less than $10,000. And I had so much money on the line. There were several times I almost had nervous breakdowns. So that's why I will never do events with that many stars on it ever again. It's just far too stressful. Scott Coker, the owner of Bellator, says the Fedor Emelianenko retirement fight in Moscow, Russia is not happening anymore due to the war. It will likely be rescheduled. I would like to thank a big fan of the Hannibal TV, Brian, for doing some cool Blood Hunter Thirst and Rage movie art. These are 3 of the male cast members that have already been cast for our film that we're going to shoot in June. By the way, I'm wearing a Blood Hunter sweater right now, which you can get on the Hannibal TV merch site. The link is in the description, or go to thehannibaltv.com. It's a good way to support us here at the Hannibal TV.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please help me out and like this video, then click the subscribe and get notifications buttons so you don't miss any of my latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates.